You guys are trying to rewrite the laws of genetics. Question. When did the color red mean white? Esau means hairy and Edom means red. So how on earth do you get devoid of color from this? That is what white people are, you know. They have very little to no skin darkening melanin in their skin. Their skin isn't red. Please remember, DNA evidence now proves the Aboriginal European, Japheth's seed, had dark skin and blue eyes, a gene he received from Noah. Read the book of Enoch. Don't get happy, Mr. Hebrew. Noah having blue eyes and light-colored skin upset his dad so much, he thought his wife had tipped off with a Rephaim. I said all of that to say, though their skin color was different, Noah and Esau were anomalies, thus the reason to mention it in the first place. They didn't look like mom or dad, but they still possessed their parents' DNA. But again, red doesn't mean devoid of color. The Bible could have easily said Leban, which means white, but it doesn't. That brings me to the second thing. Genetics don't lie. Esau married 2 blue-black Canaanites and a Hittite right off the bat. Through genetics, even if Esau was lily white, his first set of kids would have been called dirty red today. Let's not even talk about if his children married people from his mom's tribes. Again, genetics don't lie. Straight hair is a recessive gene and would have been virtually wiped out with his first generation of children, seeing he married blue-black Africans. Everybody has seen a biracial kid before, right? Now just imagine that child marrying another black child. Fast forward. Doeg the Edomite was the chief herdsman of King Saul. Unless you're going to tell me white people were hanging out with King David, he had to have been darker skinned too. Wait, you do know Edom is right above Egypt, don't you? Fast forward. Herod himself was the product of a Nabatean Arabian woman whose progenitor was a black Abraham and a black Egyptian Hagar. Question. When did they, just like the Hebrew Israelites, turn white? Please remember, the only reason you see light-skinned people in Arab countries today is because of the Ottoman Turks, which happened less than 600 years ago. You have 3 different seeds living in the Arab lands today. Turks, light-skinned, Arabs, darker skinned, and the Aboriginal black Africans. It was the custom of the Arabs, and later taken over by the Turks, to impregnate all women in conquered lands, thus turning their seed to Turks. Do we not hear the exact same thing happening in Darfur today? The Indians, people in India, have been trying to obtain white skin ever since Alexander the Great. They even developed a caste system to encourage it. Alexander was around in 324 BC, and even with the system in place, we still know they're not white. Why? Because genetics don't lie. Even if both parents had a dominant and a recessive gene, it is only a 25% chance the recessive gene will show. Add this into the equation. When you read the book of Kings and the displacement of the northern tribes, you will realize the Assyrian king placed a cornucopia of different people from all of his conquered lands into the land of Samaria. There isn't a progenitor of the Sumerians, brothers. They got that name because of the region they lived in, just like the Palestinians and the Americans today. That's why that region in Arabia is where the scriptures say the mingled people live. Also, please remember, after 70 AD, all Hebrew Israelites were sold off and Jerusalem was bulldozed over. No one lived there, not even the Edomites. They simply went back home to Idumea on the southern end. Nowhere in history does it say Idumea was destroyed along with Jerusalem, does it? In fact, people are still living there today. Wouldn't you go home if it was only a walking distance away and to get away from danger? This fact will put into question your understanding on certain prophecies like Ezekiel 36, Psalms 83, etc. Question. Why would the Messiah be coming out of Edom dripping in blood if they were living in Jerusalem and as the white Europeans? How can Edom live among the Gentiles in Jerusalem and still have their own land with their own particular judgments in end-time prophecies? Besides, all the prophecies say the Gentiles, Japheth's seed, will be living in the tents of Shem, not Esau, whether they amalgamated with the white man or not. The prophecy said the Gentiles were trodden down Jerusalem, not Edom. The people living in Jerusalem today are Ashkenazi Gentiles, Mongolian Turks, not the seed of Shem. When someone tells you something bad about themselves, believe it. Saying that, according to the New Jewish Encyclopedia under Khazars, quote, a Mongolian people who embraced Judaism and flourished from the 8th through the 10th centuries on the territory extending between the Don and the Volga rivers and the shores of the Black, Caspian, and the Azov Seas, the Isles of the Gentiles. They were subjected to occasional attacks by the Byzantines and later by the Russians. By the end of the 10th century, they had succumbed to the Russians, and after maintaining themselves for a short period of time in Crimea, some gradually embraced the Christian or Muslim faith, ceasing to exist as a separate people, though many joined with their Jewish brethren. Example, this is why the Israelis and the Palestinians look just alike. They're the same damn people. This is why the Israelis had to shelve the biological program that was aimed at only affecting the Palestinians. Why? Because they're the same damn people. They're Turks. I know you want to say the Edomites mingled with the Romans after Jerusalem fell, right? Why in the hell would the Romans do that and put themselves in jeopardy? Being a Jew was basically outlawed. Besides, you guys act as though the Edomites were the conquerors and forcibly amalgamated with the Romans. The Romans were friendly with Esau's seed while they were in power, but they didn't amalgamate with them. Heck, Rome didn't even give Herod a Roman wife. Remember, the Edomites were forcibly converted just 200 years before. So after the Jerusalem fall, they simply went back home and forgot about being a Jew altogether. To back up my claim, the Romans destroyed the temple for more than just the gold. The temple was the heart of our lives, living whether you lived in Jerusalem or not. By destroying it so and bulldozing it over, they were essentially killing off the Hebrew religion. Even the Hebrew communities throughout the Roman Empire dried up. Why? Didn't you see how ugly it got for the Muslims in America after 9/11? Basically, I'm saying the seed of Esau is what we would consider a sect of Arab Muslims today, not the common everyday white man. I can really slam the door on this issue with you guys, but hopefully I have given you enough to use System 2 thinking and rethink your positions. If not, I will bring more evidence as needed to crush your rebellion.